Hey, encourage me, fam. I hope and trust you guys are well. So, I'm back again with another book review series. And today I'll be talking about this book, this lovely book, and the study guide On Your Way to Meeting You by Georgia A. Bryce. So this book is a self-discovery series. It's filled with stories, about Georgia's life. It talks about, what success is, right? It talks about finding your real and authentic self. And I know that as you delve into this book, you will love it and you will get to find out who you are. If you have not found that out yet, you will definitely for sure find out who you are. So stay tuned as I talk a little bit more about this book. All right, so let's get into the book. The book in total has 12 chapters. Each chapter starts with a quote or a scripture. What I also love is that at the end of each chapter, there is about 4 or 5 points for us to remember. And these points, really, we should take them and run with them. We should hold them close to our hearts and not lose them, because these are things that can help us to really shift our focus, shape our mindset into becoming a purpose driven individual, to become passionate about our calling, to fulfill that call of God on our life, and to actually discover the real us. So let me get into chapter 3 for you, which I will be reading today. Have you even met the real you? The more you get to know him, the more you come to know him. Considering how much information you are exposed to on a daily basis, have you ever paused long enough to think about whether you are being given access to what really matters, to what you need to know? We live in what I would like to dub the age of information overload. Never before in the history of humanity have we had access to so much information. We have certainly come a long way from the medieval age, when information was restricted to and controlled by certain set of society and available in limited formats. That is hardly the case in this 21st century. We have books, traditional media, social media, the internet, reality television, and talk shows bringing all kinds of information about everything we could possibly imagine under the sun. What I do find puzzling is that with this plethora of information and its ready availability, how much have we evolved as a species? How about you? With all this amassed information, have you finally determined why you are here, and is any of it taking you closer to fulfilling your life's dream? Now, I know there are versions of you that you have developed the heart of presenting to others. But when the crowd is gone and the curtains are drawn and you are standing with no one else in the room but yourself, can you honestly say that you know the real you? Though it might sound like a redundant question, you would be surprised to know how many people are walking around having no understanding of who they really are, because they have never been really introduced to themselves. Do you even know you? Do you even know you? If your answer is no, the passing of time often adds other layer of distress. The hard truth is this: if you have not yet discovered who the real person is that forever returns your stare in the mirror, not only are you clueless and without an identity, but you are likely being misused, violated, abused, being disrespected, and being cheated out of what was designed to be yours. Here's why. There is absolutely no way you can begin fulfilling your purpose without knowing who you are. One of the earliest lessons I learned during my mentorship experience with Dr. Miles Monroe is that the worst thing that could ever happen to an individual is not death. The worst thing that could happen to you and me is that we never come to a knowledge of who we really are, of who we were meant to be. If you never truly discover your unique blueprint, the purpose for your life, you can never live your life to the fullest. Now here's the clincher. While you remain oblivious to this dynamic, the clock continues to tick and the time frame associated with fulfilling your life's assignment continues to slowly run out, like sand in an hourglass. That time loss can never be recouped. This truth serves as my wake-up call. You are a unique entity. There is no other person like you on this planet, and there will never be another person. You were uncrafted to be an original by the master designer himself. But if you never embark upon that journey of self-discovery, you are guaranteed to spend the rest of your life faking the funk, being a wannabe, tailoring your life off of these reality shows and psychologically constructed television series that serve only one purpose: to ensure that you remain dumbed down, mindless, and easily hurried into any direction someone with an agenda has in mind. What have you been gorging on? What kind of information have you been constantly feeding your mind with? Can you tell your own individuality apart from the masses, or do you just look like everyone else around you, expressing nothing distinctly compelling, even though it is ingrained in your design? Do people actually remember you, your name, when they leave your presence? Or are you simply lumped with the rest of them? Do you simply bear the name of some label slapped onto you by virtue of your upbringing, say Christian, but lack the fortitude or the capacity to live out a set of personal convictions because you simply have no clue? You are a unique entity. You owe it to yourself to take the time to take that journey of self-discovery, to uncover what was inscribed in your DNA, what makes the real you. You owe it to yourself to explore the potentials, abilities, gifts, talents, passions, interests, dreams, and the vision that is locked deep inside the core of your being, and discover where this process takes you. Can you get unplugged from the system? Do you want to be unplugged from the mundane? A few years ago, I told God I want to die. I was not suicidal, but I was certainly depressed. I had come to the end of a road, a long journey that had me traveling the path that other people, even myself, had in mind for me. Society, friends, tradition, dominant stories, groupthink, authority figures, and even the church has significantly helped to shape the trajectory of my life up until that point. I was 30 years old and I was at the top of my game. I had a successful career, had completed a few degrees, owned my own home, drove a nice luxury car, and had great friends. I was not struggling financially or anything of the sort. But one night I found myself thinking, if this is what being at the top looks like, then what's next? Where do I go from here? I was empty. I never felt so lost in my entire life. I had done everything I was told to do. I had gotten an education, secured a career, purged the American dream of home ownership, and yet here I was completely miserable and at a loss. I started making plans, assessing what my debt would mean and who would most be impacted. Since I had no husband or children, I figured the loss would be minimal. I started readying my accounts just to make sure my beneficiaries were intact. Sufficing to say, and thank God, I did not die. At least not physically. But what began in my life from that moment on was a journey into discovering the real me. The me who I was meant to be according to my unique design. The person that God, the master designer, had in mind when he knitted me together and dispatched me out of eternity into time. It took 3 years into a mentoring program with powerful change agent and visionary extraordinaire Dr. Miles Monroe to begin unlocking the plan of destiny and unfold the true vision of my life. The one that God designed with me in mind and not the one assigned by other humans around me in their receptive roles. I cannot begin to describe the joy and peace that flooded my soul when I truly began to understand that I am here for a specific purpose, and that is something I am carrying in my belly that the world needs, especially my generation. This journey of self-discovery brought me into complete alignment with the master designer of my life as I started to fully understand that only he had complete details of Georgia and Marie Bryce, and that only he could usher me into the expected end that was prepared for me long before my arrival on earth. 2 years following my initiation into that mentoring program, I went back to school to pursue a second graduate degree in the field that I will spend the rest of my life living and serving: marriage and family therapy. In addition, I founded and incorporated the organization known as Building According to Pattern, LLC, through which I have been able to serve my gifts and make the kinds of impact on the lives of others in ways that are unimaginable. I am the most satisfied, most contented, and the happiest I have ever been in my life. A lot of things are not the way I would like them to be, but even those things can get in the way of my peace. Wow. All right, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and read these 4 pointers that she mentioned. If you are ready to undertake this journey of self-discovery, I leave you with these 4 things that you should remember. And I want to also give you some reflective questions from the study guide. Without the input of your master designer, you have no hope. When you get to know him, and the more you get to know him, the more you come to an understanding of who you are. Hollywood does not have the answers, neither does reality television. I have the highest respect for many of our well-known coaches and speakers, but none of them have the complete details concerning your life. Only God does. The more you get to know him, the more you get to know you. Number 2, you will never come to discover the real you until you become sick and tired of the fake version. If you do not like what you see in the mirror, if you hate the thoughts that are screaming loudly in your mind, and if you believe that there has got to be more to your life, then it is time to make a decision. Number 3, you simply cannot pursue you if you do not become your own priority. Put you at the top of your agenda. Take a self-evaluation and identify where you are now. Consider what might be standing in your way and holding you back from becoming the man or woman you know deep down in your heart you are, and establish some things that you can do to initiate and facilitate the changes that you are looking to make. Find your mentors, find your spiritual fathers, find your midwives. Cut off the foolish friends, turn off the television shows, and start investing in your life's development. If you do not, no one else will. Number 4, prepare to go through the process and finish the course. Burn the bridge or the boat or whatever vehicle or means that will take you back to the whole fake you. Make the decision that no matter what, there is no turning back on this one. Powerful. Powerful. Remember, there's absolutely no way you can begin fulfilling your purpose without knowing who you are. You were handcrafted to be an original by the master designer himself. There is something you're carrying in your belly that the world needs. And lastly, you have to be willing to die to your ideas and expectations concerning who you are and who you should be. I did not read all of chapter 3 because I want you guys to go on over and get a copy for yourself. So let me go here into the study guide for you. And I just want you guys to see some of the questions that she has written down for you pertaining chapter 3, right? And as you listen to these questions, I want you to actually reflect if you have come to the term of knowing who you are. Preliminary questions. Is your life in order? If no, why? Do you have a priority list? Can you say your life has progressed over the last 5 years? In what ways? What will it take for you to get to the next level in your life? So those are 4 questions that that you can really assess on where you are right now and how you can change the trajectory of your life. And so as you continue to read and delve into this book, I pray that the Lord will open up your eyes like he did to me, for you to come to terms of who you are and who you're meant to be. Remember, when you get to know Christ, you get to know the real you. I pray you were blessed by this episode. God bless you, and see you again on another book review. Take care.